What's up, mother flowers? Today I'm going to show you how I like to restring my Suhr guitar with the Sperzel locking tuners. So this is completely optional, just grab a towel, roll it up, it makes a sweet headstock rest. Today I'm going to be rocking the Ernie Ball regular slinkies, but I recommend you use whatever strings that you like and whatever strings that your guitar is set up for. Alright, sweet. So what we have here, we have a ball and string. Now you can see this is just a high E string. And they call it a ball end because it's got a little ball at the end, and this is pretty much is what's stopping at your bridge. And this little part is what's going to go through your guitar first. So let me show you that. Sweet, so here's the front of the guitar. I'm going to be replacing this high E string. So when you rotate it around the back, you'll see now on this side, hopefully there's a spare hole. All the other ones have the string, so you can see all the ball ends in there. So pretty much just going to grab this end, poke it through, and slide it all the way up. You can grab it from the other side and just pull it through, and you'll see the ball end stop there, and that means she's in. Cool, now I'm going to go ahead and do this to all the other strings before we move on to the next step. While we're here, I'll give you a quick disclaimer saying that all guitars are different, and this is just one way of restringing them. This is just a particular way that I like to do it with these particular guitars, and it's worked for me for many years, so I thought I'd just share it with you guys. So with your locking nuts, you just want to make sure they're all in the open position, and make sure your string holes are all facing down towards your bridge, so all you have to do is slide the string straight through, and you don't have to fiddle with them later on, which saves you a bit of time. So how these tuners work, these locking tuners, I've put my string already through the string hole, and I'm just going to spin this wheel at the back here clockwise, and you'll see a little pin get pushed up, and it's going to eventually lock off the string like so. So now it's not going anywhere. And if you want to release it, you just do the opposite and spin it anti-clockwise, and you should see the little pin drop like that. There you go. So the locking tuner on my low E string tends to unwind itself when I hang it on one of those guitar hooks. So to prevent that from happening, I like to give it a full wrap, and to do that I measure the distance between the E and A string posts, I grab it in the middle and feed it back through towards the bridge, lock it off, and that should give you enough slack to give you one full wrap around that post when you tune up to low E. And the rest of the strings just do as normal. Pull on straight on through, and make sure you give them plenty of tension before you lock them off. The more tension the better. So using my handy dandy string winder, I'm going to be tuning my guitar strings up to standard tuning. Just remembering I'm giving my low E string one full wrap around the post, just because it comes undone when I hang them off the guitar hooks where I currently work. But with the rest of the strings, just pull up as normal, and you'll see they will not get anywhere near one full wrap. That's the beauty of the locking tuners. Now I'm just going to tune this guitar roughly into standard tuning, and the next step here is to stretch the strings so they stay in tune. Now I want to use this guitar for a show tonight, and the beauty of stretching them this way is that you can restring and stretch your guitar right before a gig and have no tuning issues whatsoever. So here's how you do it. So using my low E string as an example, I'm going to put 3 fingers underneath and my thumb over the top. I'll be pulling upwards away from the fretboard with my 3 fingers and pushing downwards pressure on my thumb. Applying this all the way down the fretboard, and then retuning back up to its designated pitch every time you do this. Now repeat the process, and you'll notice that when you do it the first time it'll go really flat, and as you keep on doing it, it will get less and less flat until it becomes hardly any change at all. Now just apply this with all the other strings, and we'll move on to the next step. So once you complete the first phase of the string stretching process and all your strings are staying relatively in tune after you stretch them all, I like to go ahead and bend each string from the bottom to the middle to the high end of the fretboard, covering every string, and then retuning them as you go along. Now the same thing will happen like the first phase, where the strings will become flat after each bend, and as you keep repeating it, they'll get less and less flat until there'll be hardly any movement at all. Now at this point of the stretching process, I just double check that all the locking tuners are doing their job. If you haven't done it properly, you may get a bit of string slippage, and that's why I've left them untrimmed for now, so you can easily fix that problem if they do slip through. Now with how hard you want to bend these strings, you pretty much just want to bend them as high as you would bend them if you were to play regularly. So it depends. If there's a song in your set list or whatever that has a really high stretch, a really high bend, then bend it up to that pitch and then retune it until there's no movement, and you should have no problem whatsoever. And just for good measure, I like to repeat the stretching and the bending process just one more time really quickly, and that's just going to reassure that your strings are going to stay in tune and she's ready to play. Don't forget to give your headstock a bit of a haircut, and then you'll be ready for any gig.